In the last 40 years, the ASEAN and Canada have explored common ground to, inter alia, address traditional and non-traditional security issues such as terrorism and human trafficking, to accelerate our economic cooperation, and to promote the rights of women, children, and migrant workers while broadening our people-to-people ties. We only need to look at the ASEAN Community Vision 2025 and its blueprints to see the alignment of ASEAN's core interests with those of Canada's. The people-centered, people-oriented agenda that leaves no one behind guides ASEAN-Canada engagements, including this summit. Today, our vision for our respective countries, our region, and the world finds expression in the broad directions that we, as leaders, set for the future of ASEAN-Canada relations. Without further ado, I therefore invite the Prime Minister of Canada, Minister to deliver his opening remarks. You have the floor, sir.
Esteemed co-chair, leaders of ASEAN, I'd like to start by thanking our Filipino host, President Duterte, for his invitation. The friendship between the Philippines and Canada, particularly through people-to-people ties, runs deep, but it is also a good example of the many friendships and connections we have with people around the table and countries around the table. It's my great privilege to join you today as we celebrate 50 years of ASEAN and 40 years of dialogue between ASEAN and Canada. This is the first time a Canadian Prime Minister has been given the opportunity to meet with you as a group, and I hope this marks the beginning of a closer, stronger partnership between us. The opportunities I've had over the past few days to connect with all of you has been wonderful and bodes extremely well for the future of relations between our countries. As a Pacific nation, Canada has long understood the importance of a close relationship with Southeast Asia. Partners in prosperity and in peace, Canada has sought to deepen and strengthen the ties that unite us in recent years for the benefit of all our citizens. We were also very proud to announce the first Canada-ASEAN Scholarship Program last August, an initiative that will provide more opportunities to students from your countries to study in Canada as early as next September. Our efforts to actively engage with the region demonstrate our commitment to a shared future. A future where families are thriving, businesses are innovating, and economies are growing. At a time when change is followed only by more change, international forums like ASEAN are more than just useful, they are vital. For the past 50 years, ASEAN has been instrumental to the liberalization of trade and the establishment of fair, rules-based international systems. As unprecedented, dynamic growth is driving Southeast Asia's importance on the world stage, it is critical that we build this progress and that we expand this partnership. Canada is not only willing, but ready to be a key partner for the next 50 years. We are ready to contribute to ASEAN's success in an increasingly globalized world by joining the East Asia Summit and the ASEAN Defense Minister Meeting Plus at the earliest opportunity. This would allow Canada to become a full and dynamic partner of ASEAN, a partner that can truly contribute to the organization and its mission. Our stance on free trade puts us in an ideal position to work with you to encourage growth that benefits everyone and that is sustainable. Done right, we believe that trade can create good, well-paying jobs for the middle class and those working hard to join it. They can help parents put food on the table and give their kids more opportunities to get ahead while still opening new markets for business. Ultimately, Canada believes that the benefits of growth must be felt by everyone, not just the wealthiest citizens. And since the beginning of my mandate, my government has been proud to have signed trade agreements that are not only good for business, but that are in line with our values. Agreements that contain provisions on things like labor protection, environmental stewardship, and gender equality. Canada believes that a strengthened partnership will help us chart a path towards an economic future that is more prosperous, more equal, and more stable for generations to come, which is why we are so pleased that we have together begun discussions on Canada-ASEAN Free Trade Agreement. Canada stands united with the Asian continent and the world in our demand that North Korea abandons its nuclear weapons and ballistic missile programs. North Korea must immediately cease all activities that go against its international obligations and the United Nations Security Council resolutions. Canada hopes to exert its influence on the world stage to defend issues of mutual interest to ASEAN members and partners. The issues that matter to you matter to us.